Hi, Jen here from Jen Michelle Coaching, and today I want to talk about how to stop overreacting. This is a common predicament that we can often find ourselves in, only to lead to a suitcase of regret on our back. So I want to talk about some ways in which you can set yourself up for success to handle any challenging situation that comes your way. For those of you new to my channel, I would love to invite you to subscribe. I release a new video Sundays of each week. Number one, let's meet the basics first, right? We think this is common sense, but it's not, because if we are trying to deliberately build a new skill, if we are not sleeping, eating, or drinking water, or covering those basic needs, it's going to be 10 times harder. So when I talk to women a lot in my coaching who are really trying to embody their feminine energy, for example, but they're sleeping 4 hours a night and they really need 8 to feel their best, it's really all an uphill battle. So if we're trying to settle and approach things from a space of responsiveness, of being able to see the forest through the trees and make good decisions, it's critical that we are doing the self-care basics. Sometimes there's a really big misunderstanding around what self-care is. We view it as something indulgent, like going to treat ourselves to a manicure or something, but good self-care is meeting those basic needs so we feel optimized and we can function from that level. So it's really critical that you look at your day-to-day choices. Am I making good choices for what I'm eating? Am I making good bedtime choices? Am I establishing good rituals that support me feeling my best each day? So I invite you to go deeper and look at the choices that are on automatic within your life day to day, and make adjustments where you need to, so you're setting yourself up to approach things from a space where you're supporting responding and you're supporting more deliberate growth and really building that confidence and accessing that high value within you, because you've set yourself up intentionally to do just that. Number two, assume the best. This is not an easy thing to do because, of course, we're all hardwired for that negative bias. But what happens is, if the situation doesn't match the body's response, we treat things from the absolute worst case scenario. So it's very critical that we're really assuming the best. If someone hasn't called us, if the man hasn't called, if someone's late, we have a little bit of grace within ourselves for this, versus jumping to conclusions where we're assuming, that they've done something horrible, or from a sinister or just mean-spirited space within them. We're really assuming the best, and we let things play out. And if we do find that we're in a situation where someone wasn't respectful or considerate, we can speak to it from a space of groundedness and calm, versus really ramping things up and reacting from that space. And so we're approaching life from a space that, hey, I assume the best in situations, and if it isn't the best, then I trust that I can handle it. So we're letting that be the default, so we're not constantly having to talk ourselves down. We're rather than in the present moment preparing ourselves to handle whatever comes our way from a really intentional and conscious space. Number three, I touched on this slightly in number two, but just notice if you've put yourself in a time capsule and bring yourself back, because of course, especially in love and dating, things will get activated and triggered that are not intentional at all, but are unresolved within us from either previous experiences with men or from our childhood. And so when we do have those moments where we're ruffled, or when we're feeling that rise of emotion, we want to first check in and make sure we haven't gone back into a time capsule, and what we're reacting to is that, versus really seeing and hearing and being open to the person that's unfolding right in front of us. And so it's very helpful to just ask yourself some questions based in curiosity. Am I in the present moment? What am I reacting to? When did I feel this way the first time? And am I going into all of that? Or am I seeing this person right now for the imperfect human that they are, giving them a certain level of grace and patience, versus, putting all of our old unresolved stuff into the present moment, therefore making something that could have just been really small and, benign, turning it into something big and with a lot more depth than the situation really warrants. Then, of course, leading to all of that recognition later and just feeling so remorseful or shameful about how we showed up. And so when we learn how to catch when we're moving into reaction, we have the ability then to say, okay, like I do have something to say, but I am not in the right space for it. Then we lead to really intentional communication, which builds more and more deposits and connection over time because we're not constantly creating those little messes or big messes that need a lot of cleanup. So this is a constant skill that we want to be aware of and work on. We're always a work in progress with this type of thing. And it's important to also hold space and give ourselves grace and to self-correct when we don't handle it perfectly. So I hope that this is very helpful to you in your situation. I would love to hear how this lands for you and anything that you're facing right now that's been challenging. Please go to my site at jenmichellecoaching.com and check out my various programs and resources, as well as my upcoming next round of the Attract Him Forever group program. You can sign up on the wait list and you will be first notified once the dates are solidified.